An incident has been reported at Arapo of Ogun State, a private school, where two parents alleged that their children had received incisions while at the school. The allegations sparked concern and prompted the police to launch an investigation into the matter. However, after conducting a thorough investigation, the police were unable to find any evidence to support the parents' claims.
Official press briefing on the allegations of incisions on two pupils. Good day, ladies and gentlemen of the press. My name is Abimbola Oluwumi, and I am the directress of Zahrah Montessori School, Arepo. It brings me no joy to address you today under such circumstances. As an educator and a caregiver, my greatest fulfillment comes from seeing children thrive. That is why these recent allegations have deeply saddened me, especially because they involve the well-being of children entrusted to our care. I would like to speak to you not only as the head of this institution, but also as someone who cares deeply for every child in and out of our school. One of the children mentioned in this matter, Al-Amin, holds a special place in my heart. His mother, Mrs. Abosede, has been a part of my life for years, even beyond the school setting. Al-Amin has been on a partial scholarship in our school, and I have closely monitored his growth and development. My concerns for his welfare have been consistent and sincere, especially when I observed certain lapses in his general care and well-being. These were raised respectfully with his family in the past, until date. Similarly, we have shown concern for the safety and care of all our pupils, including Kayla. Our staff and school executives take every concern seriously, and we strive to foster a safe, nurturing, and transparent environment for all our children. And that was one of the reasons that immediately this incident happened, the very first point of call was to inform the executive of the house, and they swung into action immediately on the 12th of February, March. Regarding the recent incident, we were informed of the allegations involving Kayla and Al-Amin on the 11th of March. This several days after both pupils were last seen in school. While we understand that every child expresses discomfort differently, the timeline and details shared raise important questions, which we believe deserve thorough and objective investigation. As part of our response, we immediately initiated internal inquiries and worked with the appropriate authorities, the executives of the school. The CCTV footage was reviewed for the relevant dates, and parents were invited to view the recordings alongside school staff. At no point during the footage did we observe signs of distress or any concerning behavior. Additionally, our estate experienced power issues during this period, which impacted continuous CCTV coverage, which is a situation we are really working hard to resolve permanently. There are a lot of evidences to show that yes, there was a glitch on that day. There were also a lot of evidences to show that yes, the estate experienced power failure, which has to do with communications from all the residents in the estate as at between 26 to 28. They are all here. We recognize that children pass through multiple care points outside school hours, and this can sometimes complicate investigations. And this was one of the reasons why when they came forth, I had to help them to start thinking about what could have happened and where these children could have been dropped off, beyond just looking at the school. However, our focus remains on discovering the truth and not assigning blame. We believe this is in the best interest of these children, their families, and our entire school community. So we are looking at it holistically. We understand the emotions involved and do not take concerns raised lightly. We urge all parties, including the caregivers of these children, the school personnel, and relevant authorities, to work collaboratively to uncover the facts. And this is the same stance I've taken since the beginning of this issue. We want to see it to the end and unravel what seems to be hidden. The safety of our pupils is paramount, and we remain committed to supporting ongoing investigations and legal processes. We also want to address concerns regarding previous disciplinary matters that were raised, as at last year. Where past incidents have occurred, we have responded with appropriate correction action, emphasizing the importance of professional conduct among our staff. A letter to that effect is also here that showed the actions we took when an incident happened. On March 27th, we experienced an unexpected disruption to our school operations by individuals claiming to represent the Ministry of Education. The manner in which this was handled left many of our staff and young pupils distressed. While we welcome regulatory oversight, we hope such engagements can be conducted with due sensitivity and proper coordination to avoid causing harm or fear among the children. I could remember I even pleaded with the ministry officials to please let the school come to an end, because I don't see how parents can juggle from wherever they are to get to the school to pick these children. We have so many of them that were not even fed that day. Some had to go with soiled diapers. Some had their food not eaten because they came around 1:30, not even allowing the school to close officially. In closing, I want to reiterate our full cooperation with the authorities. We are committed to creating a safe, nurturing learning environment for every child, and we will continue to take every step necessary to uphold this responsibility. Thank you for your time and for helping us seek the truth through balanced and thorough reporting. God bless you.
One of the parents reportedly claimed to have noticed the incisions on her child around February 28th and until March 11th before she came to lodge a complaint at the school. However, it's worth noting that no other pupils in the entire school have made similar complaints, raising questions about the validity of the allegations. Despite the lack of evidence, the case is currently ongoing in court, with the proprietress of the school, stakeholders, and the parents all determined to get to the bottom of the matter. The school community is eagerly awaiting the outcome of the case, which is expected to provide clarity on what actually happened.
My name is Dr. Adilo. I'm the managing partner of AO Adilo Partners and the lawyer to the school. All along, my clients have been exercising restraint in getting the media or third party involved in the situation. And like you rightly noted, the matter is sub judice. But we cannot afford at this time to keep quiet in the face of biased reportage. Naturally, when the matter is in court, at that point you allow it to slide. But there have been a lot of reports from people I term some of your colleagues that have been very, very unbiased, to the level whereby our client, the school, Mrs. Oluwumi, and the teachers, they are even getting threatened. So at this point, the only thing we can do to salvage the situation, pending the next appearance in court, which is on the 9th of April, is to address the press conference and balance the situation. God's willing, we intend to implore the court, the magistrate overseeing the affairs in question, to tell all parties at this point to allow the law to take its course. But honestly, the narrative that has gone far and wide, I'm a parent, my own children are part of this school and all of that, and we've been receiving calls, even outside Nigeria, about the incident without allowing the court to have its take. So after today, don't be disappointed that we may not be ready to do this all again. But in order to address the concerns, the agitation that is being raised all across, that was why we felt, let us have this press briefing. Maybe when we have our next day in court, we will implore the court to come in so that they can preserve the rest in such a manner that no party will make this matter a subject of discussion any longer to the public while the same is done in court. And it is allowed within the ambit of the law until there is another that restrains us from doing so. We are going to be the one to raise it on the next agenda to the court. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the visit was unannounced, because if it was announced, we would have made necessary arrangements to get the children picked up properly. So the letter to the effect suggests that it was an instruction from the Ministry of Education, particularly instructed by the Commissioner of Education, that the school, the children should be moved out of the school, and then the school should stop with immediate effect. They came in around 1:30. The letter is here that we got on account of that. Can just quickly read the letter out? I mean, okay, or you just look through. It was basically that they are still conducting investigations.
Well,
nevertheless, the court has already taken Okay, this is it. Nevertheless, the court has already stepped in before this came up. So we were really worried why this came up, despite that it's already in the court.
Let me just say this again. Letters of this nature and the action by persons who claim to have come from Ministry of Justice are what Ministry of Education are what precipitated this kind of press briefing. In the sense that the matter is already in court. In as much as we are not going to look at the legality or the illegality of the Commissioner of Education, Ministry of Education coming up to talk about closure of a school, we are not going to look at that legality or illegality. Because as far as I'm concerned, if I'm going to talk as a lawyer, it is not within. We are talking about criminal allegation. Infliction of harm on the body of children. It goes beyond penalty. It's a proper criminal matter that the Ministry of Education they don't form within the ambit of agencies that can do such. It's like talking about armed robbery. You don't come in. We are talking about crime here. And the proper parties, being the Commissioner of Police, has taken up this matter in court. The matter is already before the court. So what is the essence of now coming thereafter in an attempt to close down the school? And you are now forcing out underage children, talking about babies of 1. Some of them are in creche. Forcing them out for their parents to be running down. And you all know what we experienced in the last couple of days within Lagos State. Most of the parents you see don't mind that this is in Ogun State. But majority of the parents you see they work in Lagos. You had a traffic issue and all of that, and suddenly somebody is calling me that alleged person from Ministry of Education. We've written a letter to that effect because we don't want to agree that those persons are actually from Ministry of Education. Because, yes, we are not going to look at legality or illegality. What anybody should prioritize most is the children, going by the child rights law of Ogun State, I think 2011 or thereabout. So we are not going to look at that legality. And those are the fulcrum, the basis for having this press briefing. Because eventually we will have the court to look into all of these issues. Having subjected ourselves before the court, should we have agencies of government interfering with activities and the rest of it? For all you may care to know, it is not within the right or power of Minister of Justice, Minister of Education, to investigate crime. It is only the police and other relevant agencies enabled by law. But like I said, and I will re-emphasize that, we are not going to look at that at this point. Legality or illegality, we are not looking at that. Our major concern is that the truth as to what happened to these children should be established.
Yes.
So that's what we want to major our concern. And in the coming days, we will leave it to the court to determine if it is legal or illegal for persons to come around in the name of ministry to come and make an attempt to disrupt ongoing activities in a matter that is already resolved. Thank you.
As the case continues to unfold, it's clear that the truth of the matter is still unknown. The school and the parents are working together to ensure that the investigation is thorough and transparent, and that justice is served. The outcome of this case will likely have implications for the school and its community, and it's being closely watched by all parties involved.
When the school moved to this site, I've been the one picking Aliamin and my son. So it's happened this way. I will want to say the story. So we tried a card pickup. It did not work. So we met and we're like, okay, how do we do this? And she was like, she's an hairstylist. And she said, her main concern is her customers. Like, at times she's making hair and she wants to come and pick, and that she, like, the point of the matter is that we need a pickup, but all the Siennas we got, they were not meeting up to our time. So I was not like, okay, I will pick them, that I will make sure I'm available within that time of pickup. and drop off. So the school needs my NIN, and she asked me, I sent it to her that okay, give it to them, and it was documented. So, and I've been picking him for 3 years, and nothing of such has happened. So the one that I dropped him off on the road, like it has been like this. Once I'm leaving the school, I'm calling her, we are leaving, come and pick him. So we get to, and that should be like 3 to 5 minutes. We should be in our shop. So I tell her, okay, come to the junction, pick him, then you go. But it's not 100%. It's not always 100%. I don't drive, I don't have a car. We take bike. So once I pick him up, at times I call, our phone is not on, or anything can happen to phones, and maybe there's no battery, I don't know. But once we pick up the bikes at times they don't want to enter. The shop is like a thrown stone, like you'll be looking at the shop. But at times when she's not available to pick him, or she's not, I didn't say, at times I'll call her, she picks, and when we get to the junction, I'm not seeing anybody. So at times I just drop him, and Aliami, and I'm telling him, Aliami, run, I'm looking at you, for a few minutes, and he runs. He's a very smart boy and very sharp. He runs. At times they are even calling him, because people are around, they are calling him, Aliami, Aliami, go to your shop, I'm looking at you. 1 minute is there, and I go. So that has always been the routine, but it's not 100%, but it's just few times, like it's not every time. Really, it's not every time. But that particular one, I think you are the one that picked us that day, and you were like, I told her that that's what the mom said, like, and she reported me to Miss Olumi. Miss Olumi told me, and I called her. In fact, I was not the only one, like 3 of us, we called her, and fine, she adjusted, but it's not 100%.
Then she told me that Alami will not be coming to school, she's vomiting, and that he won't be coming to school. Nothing of such was mentioned until Tuesday that she came with Kayla's mom. Now, Kayla's mom came to school on the 14th of February, which was her open house, and she had discussion with the teacher. Before then, Kayla has been ill, 11th to possibly 13th. If Kayla had been ill on the 14th, she probably would not come for the open house. She came. Nothing was mentioned. She in fact put a call through to her husband to speak to the current teacher, Miss Chinyere. Nothing was mentioned. Now, Kayla resumed back to school after our 1 week mid-cycle break. That was 24th of February. And she came to school the whole of the week of 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Are you with me?
Clearly.
And then she went home. Nothing was said. But the statement she wrote suggested or claimed that she saw something that looks like a finger scratch on the 28th of March. That's from her statement. 28th of
March.
February. Yes.
28th of
Yes,
February,
she alleged.
2025.
Yes. Nothing was said. And then it was also on the school app where the teacher was making inquiry on the 4th of March about Kayla. No response.
Okay.
There's also a call log from me on the 9th of March calling Kayla's mom Sunday night. No mention of decision until the 11th of March when they both came as parents to lodge this complaint. We had opportunities of communicating, but there was no anything that suggested that there was decision.
Okay,
No
so
mention of that. No, if there's anything we need to know is that, you know, we've said it here, Alami's mom runs a salon. And a lot of people goes to this salon and hear Alami speak. One of the things that suggests that, yes, people come to make inquiry from their end just by hearing the way Alami converses. I'm saying 2 years old. Then, as a 2-year-old child, he talks and converses clearly and very well. The same for Kayla. In fact, as a matter of fact, if there's anything anybody will quickly notice when your child comes to Zahrah, is that your child will be very audible and bold to communicate. We have a structure by which no teacher touches or pushes a child, no teacher drags a child. Even our babies, when it is time for diaper change, say diaper change, they get up and go drag their knapsack. So it is a culture, so that when you communicate with these children, they get to know how to communicate. It is what you say to them that they repeat back to you. So every one of them talks properly and talks very well. By the term auntie here, everybody is being called by their name, including me. Nobody calls me mommy, nobody. Everybody is being called by their names here. So that was one of the things I told them, that auntie, as a matter of fact, we don't use the word auntie in this school. So, and then the executive moved also into action.
So sorry, one of the
sorry, excuse me.
That's what I'm saying. We were already in court. Okay. We just kept on seeing different things happening from different angles, of course, propelled by the other parties. While we were taking the stance that yes, we're already in court, please let's take it cool and let's take it legal. But all of this publicity,
so let me ask you that.
and all of that came on without us knowing.